Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I'm Diego, of course, and we're going to talk some more about Sex and the City. That's right, Sex and the City today. Okay, we're going to finish up this movie, all right? This movie came out in 2008. I'm Diego, and I'm a big fan of Sex and the City. I've watched every single episode. I've reviewed every single episode. Okay, I got all the videos on here on this channel to prove it. I have reviewed every single goddamn episode of Sex and the City, and I'm about to be done reviewing this movie, okay? I liked the movie a lot. It wasn't as good as the TV show, but it was a lot better than that piece of shit abortion we got called In Just Like Crap that came out last year. That was a fucking... That was a clusterfuck of bullshit. I already reviewed that too if you want to watch my videos on that. But I'm about to finish up the movie here, okay? So like I said, this movie came out in 2008. It was 4 years after the show got canceled, trying to catch up on everyone's lives. Now, the reason I made so many videos is because I didn't want to leave out anything. I wanted to just get it all done in this one little montage here, this series, and get the movie over with. That's why I dissected it point by point, every little detail. I wanted to go over all of it, see what relates to everything else on the show, see how it relates in real life, and my own personal opinions of how I think they portray relationships on the show. I was a big fan of Sex and the City. I'm the only straight guy that I knew that watched every single episode when it first came out. Okay, I was a fan. If you watch my videos, I went to the watch party for the series finale. I was actually at a watch party. Okay, that's where you have to pay to get in. Okay, and of course I snuck in. I didn't pay, but yeah. So good times, good memories with Sex and the City. All right. So yes, I'm a big fan. I just did not like the way the men were being portrayed. In this movie, unfortunately, it's still the same shit. I understand that men are not perfect, that we have faults, okay? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, depicting the faults of men. Okay, God knows I have my own. I know lots of guys that have theirs. You women know damn well. Okay, but the only problem I have, okay, is you can't break people's character. Okay, it's okay to have a fault, but you have to show us that this person already had that fault before you just spring it on us. Okay, like this show did. Okay, we never knew a Big to be weak and insecure and indecisive. Okay, in this movie, he's all those things. You know, just stuff like that. You know, just didn't make sense. You know, Steve has always been loyal. You know, to Samantha. I mean, to Miranda. Even when she treated him like shit, he was always there for her. But then, just out of the blue, he cheats on her. That didn't make much sense. That was out of character for him. He would have struggled with that before he did it, okay? And we didn't see any of that. We don't even know what this girl looked like, okay? And he didn't get caught, okay? He just fucking told her he did it and that he was sorry. So he caused his own drama right there. That was a little bit out of character. And Harry, Charlotte's husband, well, I mean, what does he do? He doesn't do anything. He pays the bills. And he reminds Charlotte how wonderful she is and how lucky he is to have her. Although she did tell him that she was lucky to have him because of all the guy drama her girlfriends were going through, but she wasn't going through any. You know, he's there to be supportive and nice and sweet and considerate and sincere. You know, and he pays all the bills and he doesn't complain. You know, and he constantly reminds Charlotte how she's beautiful and wonderful and how he's the luckiest man in the world. You know, to have her and to have his life. You know, like what the fuck? Well, what are we gonna do with that? Okay, nothing, okay? Yeah, there's nothing to do with that, okay? So yes, so I was a big fan of the show. Okay, then we watched this movie, and I'm gonna finish reviewing this movie, okay? I'm gonna give you a straight man's point of view. That's what I do here. Okay, I tell you honest to God what a straight man would think about these women, these relationships, the circumstances that are going on here, everything, okay? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what your dad didn't tell you, your boyfriend didn't tell you, your husband didn't tell you. Ladies, don't watch this with him. If he's sitting next to you right now, do not watch this with him. Okay, he's gonna get pissed off. Okay, and guys, don't watch with her. Okay, she's gonna make you pause this shit and explain yourself. What the hell's he talking about? Is that true? No, you didn't know what he's saying, man. Come on, that kind of shit. I don't want to do that to you. Okay, I don't want to do that to you. I probably caused a few divorces already, unfortunately. But hey, it's better to know than not know. It's better to know than not know. Okay. Honestly, I wish a woman would do a fucking review of some of the guy movies out there and tell me what she really fucking thinks. But we know that's not gonna fucking happen, okay? Because that's bullshit. We want something realistic like Sex and the City. Yeah, let me tell you something. Fucking Predator is more believable than fucking Sex and the City, okay? All right. The Predator is more likely to happen than fucking Sex and the City. Okay. All right. So moving right along. Okay. So where I left off last time, Charlotte gave birth. Okay, her water broke while she was yelling at Big. She ran into him at a restaurant. She has not seen him since he stood up Carrie at the wedding. Okay, he takes her to the hospital. He feels bad. He's like, oh shit. He takes her to the hospital. Carrie gets the call, so she runs to the hospital. Okay, the baby's already born. She meets up with Harry. Harry's all excited. He tells her how it's a girl. Oh, it is my lot in life to be surrounded by beautiful women. Come on in. She's waiting for you. Because that's the way Harry is, And she goes in there, and there's Charlotte holding her baby girl, her little baby girl. And of course, Carrie's like, oh, isn't she lovely, Carrie? She's like, oh, look at her, Carrie. You know how we named our daughter, our other daughter, we named her Lily? Well, this girl, we got a name for her, too. Her name is Rock. New kid on the block. Don't want to be the flock. Wish I had an R-O-C-K, rock. R-O-C-K, rock, 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 rock. Yeah. Isn't it a lovely name? I know. It's great. Now we have a Lily and we have a Rock. New kid on the block. Part to be the flock. Wish he had an R-O-C-K, rock. R-O-C-K, rock, 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 rock. Yeah. That's her name. Yeah. I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up. You know what I'm talking about. We are introduced to Rock, new kid on the block. Yes, this is our introduction to that. Yes, right there in her fucking, in her arms. Yes, that's what we got. Yes, I know, right? How times have changed. Oh God, I hope I didn't fucking assume her pronouns. Holy shit. All right, anyway. So that's going on here. Yeah. Okay, drama. Yeah. Carrie meets the baby. Carrie says, you have a baby and no drama. And Harry's like, oh, there was plenty of drama. There was drama, all right. And Charlotte says, my water broke when I was talking to Big. And Carrie's like, huh? I got so upset my water broke. And Harry's like, hey, you know what, Carrie? He's the one that actually drove her to the hospital. He waited till the baby was born. He stayed. And Charlotte's like, Carrie, I think he was waiting for you. Carrie, today's not about him. It's about baby Rock, new kid on the block. Don't want to be the flock. Wish he had an R-O-C-K, rock. R-O-C-K, rock, 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 rock. Harry says, look, he asked me to ask you to call him, Carrie. I know it ain't my business, okay, but I feel bad for the schmuck. Okay, everything he heard, every time he heard heels walking down the hallway, I swear he got up and looked for you. Okay, it's like his heart stopped. And yes, I'm doing the Jewish accent because he's Jewish and he has the accent. Carrie's like, it's so much more complicated. Carrie, you have every right to not call him back. But I'm a big pile of love today, and I feel bad for him. He said he wrote you all the time. No, he didn't. Well, if he didn't, then why did he say that he did? So Carrie runs back home to check her letters and emails. She finds those manila envelopes with all her hard mail in there that Luis left for her. It's not in there. Nothing in there from Big. Okay, so she goes into her computer. Of course, no emails from Big. Okay, but she remembers what she told Louise when she had Louise as her assistant. She said, if any emails come from Big, from his email address, I want you to forward them somewhere where I'll never see them. Can you do that for me? And she said, yes, I can. All right. So now she figured out that maybe there's a file that Louise hid inside her laptop where all of Big's emails went. But it's password protected. She does not know the password. So she calls Louise and leaves her a message. And then she just sits there and starts thinking, what could possibly the password be? And then she sees the keychain that Louise left for her, the keychain that said love on it in cursive. It was a metal keychain. It was Louise's. She kept it with her because she says, this is why I keep love with me everywhere I go. Love comes with me everywhere I go. And then when she left back to St. Louis, she gave it to Carrie. She says, I'm leaving that with you because I already found my love and I'm going to get married. And you better be at my wedding, blah, blah, blah. So it says love, so she thinks maybe that's the password. So she types in love as the password. And sure enough, that is the password, okay? And she goes through all the emails that Big left for her on there, okay? John Keats. He actually retyped a lot of poems because they were looking before all the debacle happened, back when they were living together and happy, before everything happened. She was going over a book of poems by famous people, so that old famous people, okay, so that she could get research for her new book that she's going to write about what to do after you found love. Well, they were reading a bunch of poetry from like Voltaire and fucking Beethoven and Napoleon, you know, shit like that, okay? And he thought it was kind of stupid, whatever. But he was retyping all those poems, okay? He was retyping all those poems. And the one from Beethoven, it said, ever thine, ever mine, ever ours, okay? You know, Beethoven wrote that to his immortal beloved. Yeah, I fucking saw the movie with Gary Oldman, okay? Immortal Beloved, yeah, it's about Beethoven. He's fucking deaf. He couldn't even hear himself play the piano. Excuse me, and he was kind of insane. But anyway, yeah, and Keats, you know, John Keats and all that. Yeah, so she sees all these poems that Big retyped and dedicated to her. I gotta say, the guy is you know, he's persistent if nothing else. You know, I don't understand why a guy like this, you know, a guy would write all these love letters, all these poems to Carrie after he stood her up. I mean, I understand he had a momentary weakness at the moment. Like he said, I freaked out for a couple of minutes, but I'm good now. I'm ready to get married. And then she started hitting him with the fucking bouquet. But that had been building up for a while. That wasn't like he had decided to get married, then all of a sudden at the very last minute he had second thoughts. No, he even called her the night before. He was already worried about this months in advance of the wedding day. Okay, he was having second thoughts. He was having cold feet. You know, so a guy like that, a guy who'd been thinking about not getting married for such a long time, all of a sudden is devoting the past 6 months towards trying to get her back. It doesn't ring true. These things don't they're not in congruence. You understand? So it doesn't make sense. Now I know that he loves Carrie, okay, but if he really loved Carrie, he wouldn't have stood her up at the altar. Honestly, he would not have done it. He would not have done it. He would have said, "Fuck it." Even if this marriage fails, even if this is my third failed marriage, okay, and I'm never gonna get married again. Okay, God damn it, I love this woman, and I already made the commitment to her. Okay, fuck, we already got the goddamn penthouse. Okay, I made a commitment to her. Okay, I don't want to see anybody else. Okay, I love her. This might be a mistake, but fuck it. You know, I love her, and I promised her I would do this, so I'm gonna fucking suck it up, and I'm gonna fucking do what I fucking said I was gonna do. Okay, that's what a real man does. All right, and the fact that he had second thoughts at the very last minute just didn't ring true to me. I mean, it makes for a good movie, it makes for good drama, but it didn't ring true that a guy like that would all of a sudden be writing her all these crazy letters, not dating anybody that we've seen, and being alone all the fucking time. It just, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Okay, he would have moved on by now. He would have realized, if it had been me, if I had been in love with Carrie, and then I decided to marry her, and then I chickened out the last fucking minute, I would already know that this woman never wants to fucking see me again. Okay, and if she ever fucking saw me again, she'd probably fucking put a bullet in my fucking head if she ever saw me again. That's what I would think if I had done what Big did. Okay, so I would stay away from her. Okay, I wouldn't want to twist the knife. I wouldn't try to get back together. Are you fucking insane? Try to get back together with a woman that you stood up at the altar? Are you fucking out of your mind? You think a guy would ever fucking do that? A real guy would? No, fuck no. Fuck no. Even if I was guilty and torn up about it for the rest of my life, I would not try to get back with her. Because I know goddamn well that she doesn't, well, that I don't deserve her. Okay, I don't deserve her. Okay, I would know that in my heart. So if I knew that already, then why would I try to get back with a woman that I don't deserve? You see what I mean? It makes no sense. You know. Yeah. Anyway, so that's going on. He wrote there on the emails. I know I screwed up, but I'll love you forever. Okay. Well, you can say all that stuff and still move on. Okay. There's women in my life even today that I still love, that I'm not with them anymore. I still love them, and I'm going to love them for the rest of my life because they were an important part of my life. But that doesn't mean I'm not open to fall in love with somebody else if I wanted to. You see what I mean? You know, because they're not who I'm with anymore. You see what I mean? I am capable of loving other people. You know, so that's going on, and she considers calling him, but then she remembers all their bad history. She remembers all the times that they got together and that they broke up and all the drama they went through. And they've been through a lot of drama. You know, he was a distant boyfriend. You know, not really. He didn't really share his feelings towards her when they were together the first time, and then they fucking missed each other. They got back together, and then he decides that to go off to Paris, and he might not come back without telling her, and she got mad and threw McDonald's at him. He does come back from Paris, but comes back with a fucking fiance. So that kind of threw her for a loop. And then he gets married, and that kind of fucking twists the knife. Okay, she gets a boyfriend, and then he's having trouble in his marriage, so she starts fucking him. And she gets busted. The wife busts her after she broke her tooth falling down the stairs. So now that fucking Carrie's ruined this guy's marriage. Then she decides to fucking not see him again. Oh my God. Yeah. It was like that. And then he came into town, but she couldn't fuck him because, you know, he had heart surgery, you know. So yeah, so they've had their ups and downs, okay? But he's always been in the background somewhere, you know. He always been back there in the background, okay? So he's always been part of the show. Okay, so Louise calls she calls her back and tells her to remind her that the penthouse apartment, she has to get all of her shit out of there by this afternoon, or else they're going to change the locks. So if she left anything there at the penthouse, she better go over there and get it now, or else she ain't going to get it. It's going to stay there. Okay, so she's like, oh, damn it, that's right. And then she remembers that she left her blue Manolo Blahniks in that big, huge showroom fucking closet that Big built for her because she wanted a bigger closet. Okay, yeah. And she left her Manolo Blahniks there. So she realized she's gonna have to go back to the fucking penthouse and get her Manolo Blahniks, okay? Because they're like $600 Manolo Blahniks, yeah. All right, so that happens. And Louise, by the way, when she called Carrie back, she was actually trying on her wedding dress. Okay. So Carrie decides to go back to the penthouse. Okay, she runs back to the penthouse. Of course, the penthouse is empty. They never did move in. There's no furniture there or nothing, but it's a beautiful place. It really is. Huge, spacious, great view of the city. She goes into the bedroom. She goes into the fucking the showroom closet. And who does she find in there? She finds Big. Big is in there. He's in there like he's waiting for her. And he's holding on to her fucking shoes, her Manolo Blahniks, okay? And he tells her he was gonna grab the shoes for her, you know, which was kind of a sweet thing to do. And rather than fight, and rather than her fucking, you know, shoot him in the head, you know, rather than her fucking throw something at him, you know, she just sees him there holding her shoes, the two most precious things in her life, okay, and she runs to him like old movie style. And they just fucking kiss and hug each other, and all is forgiven. Okay, being jilted at the wedding altar. Okay, all that stuff is gone, done, forgotten. It's in the past. Kind of like Steve and Miranda on the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay, we both showed up. Okay, that means that we both want to do something. We both want to make this thing work. We fucked up in the past. We both did. Okay, but you know we're still worth our relationship's still worth fighting for. You know. So they run to each other and they kiss, okay, and they end up laying on the floor together. Okay, and Carrie points out that he did get rug put in the closet, in the showroom closet. Okay, I mean, really, it looks like a fucking department store showroom. That's how lovely this closet is. Okay, there's fucking closets in there, lit closets. You know, it's insane. Okay, so they start talking. They're both laying down with their clothes on because they got to get out soon. Okay, they're laying down in the closet on the floor. And Carrie says, like, when did we decide to marry? You know, when did we decide to marry? And why did we decide to marry? She tells him, why did we decide to marry? And Big says, like, I guess we were afraid it would mean something if we didn't. You know? That maybe if they hadn't gotten married, then it wouldn't their relationship wouldn't be legitimate. I think maybe that's what they're afraid of. Is that maybe if we don't get married, that means that we're just playing house. This isn't a real relationship because we're not married. So we should get married to legitimize our relationship. And I don't agree with that. I think their relationship was just fine the way it was. Let's face it, these two are not people that do well with marriage. Okay, the fact that Carrie is 42 and just now thinking about getting married, 41 and just now thinking about trying to get married is pretty sad. Okay, whoever she marries, she cannot give kids to them. I know Charlotte, but that's a fucking come on. It's a fucking TV show. Okay, try getting fucking pregnant at 42. Okay, and giving birth to a baby. It's not that fucking easy unless there's a lot of fucking fertility drugs involved. Okay, it's not fucking easy. Okay, so she's already missed her window to give him kids. Okay, she's not really a motherly person. Fuck, she doesn't even know how to fucking cook. Okay, but she knows how to shop and she knows how to write about other people's and her own relationships. Okay, she knows how to write the cock carousel and then tell people about it. Okay, to her friends, she knows how to go on vacation. She knows how to eat in fancy restaurants. She knows how to fuck guys in lavish apartments. Okay, she knows how to fucking shop. That's what Carrie Bradshaw knows about. Okay, it's not that's not wifey and mother material. Okay, and Big, of course, he doesn't, this is his third marriage. He's got no kids either, which doesn't ring true to me. But if he was serious about, being a husband, he would have done it already. He would, if he was serious about marriage, he would have stayed married to one of his two ex-wives. But he didn't. It got hard, and he fucking left. Okay, he treated marriage like it's a relationship, like it's a boyfriend girlfriend. That's it. If it doesn't work, we just break up. No big deal. So yeah, so I can understand why they're both not marriage material. Okay, and they didn't need to get married to justify their relationship. All right. Yeah, what it means. Okay, but he does tell her that he's sorry. He's sorry he made her feel that way. He's sorry that he did that to her. That he went along with this. That he went along with the whole marriage thing when they both weren't really ready for it. So Carrie's like, well, so am I. Holy shit, she actually apologized for her part in this. Remember, this whole movie, she's been blaming Big for ruining her life. Okay, and now she's like, yeah, well, I kind of had something to do with it too. All right. Yes, it's definitely Big's fault, but it's her fault too. Okay, it's definitely her fault too. Like I said, she blew up this whole fucking wedding. She basically bragged about it in Vogue magazine. It was a circus. It was bigger than Big, like she said. It was more important to her than it was to him. He was left out of it for the most part. Okay, just like your typical fucking wedding. Am I right, ladies? Am I right, guys? Yeah, exactly. You just show up and pay for everything with the fucking ring, right? Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's going on here. He says he's sorry for that. Okay, and then they look around. Okay, and she says we were happy before. She says the funny thing about this all is that we were happy before we decided to live happily ever after. And that's true. And then she looks around at the penthouse that they don't live in, that they're never going to live in. And she says, it is a good closet. And Big says, thanks, I paid for it. Okay, Carrie's like, well, the new owners will be here soon, so we better get up and go. And Big says, the way we decided to get married, Carrie, it was all business. There was no romance here. So they both get up from the floor, but he only gets halfway up. So obviously he's on one knee now. Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. He's like, this is the way. This is the way to get married, And he gets on one knee and he proposes to her. Now, he doesn't have a ring handy. Okay. So he uses her fucking blue Manolo Blahnik. He uses her shoe. Okay. And he touches her leg like all sexy like, And Big's like, okay, this is why you need a ring, okay, to close the deal. But he says, Carrie Bradshaw, will you marry me? Of course she says yes. Damn, like she forgave him pretty fucking fast. Okay, if this wasn't realistic. I could see Carrie maybe having a conversation with him first, like a real conversation. Okay, let's talk about what happened. Let's get all that fucking out there. Okay, do you really still want to get married after everything that we've done? Because now when the first wedding blew up, now everyone's been exposed for who they really are. Carrie realizes that she was a fucking Attila the Hun when it comes to this fucking wedding. It was all about her. Look at me, look at me. Look at my happy ever after. Look at me, everyone, the whole world. Look at me. Look how great I look in this dress. Look how wonderful my life is. Okay. And for him, it was like, I'm not sure about this. I'm scared. I'm a coward when it comes to fucking making a commitment to a woman for the rest of my life. I'm scared of it. This is bigger than I am. Oh my God. See, they've both been exposed for who they really are. Now that they know this about themselves, now that it's not hidden anymore, it's not in the background, it's in the foreground now. Okay. I know what's really going on in your head. Okay, besides what you tell me. I know what you really feel because I've seen it now. Okay, are we still compatible? Knowing this about each other, are we still compatible? Can we still be happy together? And I guess they just, that's the conversation that should have happened first. But of course, this is a fucking movie. So of course, they're going to do all that immediately in 1 second, decide to get married again. Okay, yeah, so... Okay, so they get married. Yep, they get married. Okay, they go to the courthouse, and she ends up wearing that simple white dress that she showed Anthony and Charlotte earlier in the movie. The one that she bought at the fucking thrift store. She didn't know the label. There was no label on it. She said earlier, yeah, I saw this dress, and yeah, that's the one I'm gonna marry big in. Yeah, that one, not the fucking Vivienne Westwood. This fucking piece of shit little dress, and she wore it. Okay, and she wore her blue Manolos too, the ones that Big picked up there. Okay, and they go to the Justice of the Peace. It's a real quick ceremony. And do you take whatever? Yeah, I do. Boom, they get kissed. It's done. It's over. That's it. They're fucking married. Very, very low key. Very low key. All right. Yeah, and he whispers in her ear after he kisses her. He says, "Ever thine, ever mine, ever ours," which was Beethoven. That was one of the poems that Beethoven wrote. His immortal beloved. I forgot her fucking name. I think Isabella Rossellini played her in the movie. It was Gary Oldman played Beethoven in the movie. All right. Then Big says that. Okay. And while they're walking out of the courthouse, he says, "I'm so she knows that I wish my girlfriends had been here for this, but I just wanted it to be you and me, So there is something she'll do without her fucking girlfriends, And he surprises her. He says, "Yeah, I figured you want your girlfriends here, and that's why I called them." And he opens the door, and they're right there. They're like, "Ah!" Okay, so yeah, they're all there. Samantha, Charlotte, Miranda, they're all there, and they're all happy for Carrie, and she's hugging them all because now she's fucking married, okay? Now they're all married except for Samantha. Ooh, Samantha's the only one with no bling on her finger, okay? So that's going on. All right, so they got married. They're all happy. They're excited. And they have an after-wedding dinner at this restaurant. So everyone's fucking there, and they're all stuffing their faces. It's a happy time. Okay, and by everyone being at this dinner, I mean everyone's there. I mean Stanford is there, Anthony is there, and they all have dinner together, okay, which is kind of cool. Okay, later on, Carrie does a book reading at a bookstore. That's something that used to happen a long time ago. I've been to plenty myself. Like an author will show up at a bookstore, like a Barnes and Noble or something, or a Books A Million, which don't exist anymore, and they would actually read from their book. And then you buy the book, and then they would sign it, for you. I've done that before. I've done that. Yeah, so she's reading a chapter from her new book, the book that hasn't been published yet. All right. Okay. And she said, and what she reads is why is it that we're willing to write our own vows, but not our own rules? Which is true. I mean, anything goes in marriage as long as they both agree to it, as long as both parties agree to it, do whatever the fuck you want. It's your fucking marriage. It's nobody else's. It's nobody else's, okay? Who says that fucking you have to have it this way or you have to have it that way? It's whatever you want it to be. That's the important thing, okay? It's your celebration. It's you and your partner, both of you. You all decide. You have to learn how to start making decisions together. That's what a marriage is. You learn how to make decisions together. It's not all about you. It's not all about your partner either. You find the compromise. You do things together. You're building a life together. Okay, nothing you do is not going to be able to affect her. And nothing she does is not going to be able to affect you. So it's like that's what a marriage is. It's a partnership. You guys work together. But you're still different people, okay? But you have that one part that overlaps each other, okay? And you protect that part, okay? And you work together on that, okay? And that's what a marriage is, you don't just fucking bail when things go bad, But unfortunately, this is America. And that's kind of what happens. Okay. So she says that, and then she tells everyone about what she just said about how come we write our own vows, okay, but we're not willing to write our own rules. And she tells everyone, all the women in the audience, again, that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, and they get all the girls get all dressed up, they get all dolled up and put on makeup and do their hair and expensive dresses and shoes, and they decide to go out fucking drinking. They go out partying to go fucking get shit faced and probably fuck some guys. Where are the men? I don't know. They're probably taking care of the kids, because that's what men do. When women are out there fucking other guys and hanging out, right? That's what I thought, but it turns out, yeah, she couldn't wait to cheat on Big, right? No, that's what I thought, but it turns out it's Samantha's birthday. That's why the girls are going out. It's Samantha's birthday. She is now 50 fucking years old, okay? And she dumped her super famous, super rich, super good looking fucking super young boyfriend back in fucking LA, and she dumped his ass and left him back in LA. I don't think he's crying about it. Honestly, I don't, okay? But Samantha, you're a fucking idiot, okay? You're like a woman on the fucking Titanic who got on a fucking lifeboat and then fucking jumped off the lifeboat and said, fuck this, I'll swim to shore. Okay, that's what you remind me of, Samantha. A dumb, stupid woman like that. Okay, here you had like the cream of the crop. Okay, and you fucking threw it away. For what? For what? So you can come back to New York and hang out with your girlfriends, okay, who are all married, who all have lives away from you, okay, who have to go out of their way just to find time to fucking go out and drinking with you. Who the fuck are you gonna drink with, okay, when all your fucking girlfriends are married? Okay, and they're with their husbands. Nobody. Okay, you Jesus, Samantha. Yeah, you're like the one I feel sorry for out of all four of them. Honestly, I do. Okay, so they got all dolled up and they're all drinking Cosmos because that's what all the women drink. I mean, when I bartended in Chicago, every fucking white chick was ordering fucking Cosmos because of this fucking movie. I was making those nonstop for like fucking 10 years. Okay. So yeah, so it's Samantha's 50th birthday. They all do a toast to us and the next 50. You ain't gonna live that long. Okay, so Carrie narrates the final scene. She says, 4 women entered the next phase of their lives, dressed in love. And that never goes out of style. And then you hear Jennifer Hudson singing in the background. She's singing some chick song called All Dressed in Love. And that's it. The movie's over. That's it. That's the end of Sex and the City. Well, I should say that's the end of good Sex in the City, okay? It's all downhill from here. I'm sorry. Okay? Now, I have not watched Sex and the City Part 2 in a very long time. But I am going to watch it again, and then I'm going to give you my review of Sex and the City Part 2, okay? And then when I'm done with that, I'm going after your chick flicks, okay? Yes, I am. I'm going to blow all that shit apart. Straight man's point of view all the way. I like doing this. This is fun. This is fun. I like this. This is a nice hobby that I have where I can just fucking rip apart the fucking, the chick flick fucking narrative, okay? Into what it should really be about, okay? Anyway, so yes, I enjoy doing these reviews. I'm glad I got done with the movie. I still have to do the sequel, Sex and the City Part 2. What I do remember from watching that movie is it was not as good as this one. It was definitely not as good as the TV show, but it was infinitely better than that piece of shit show and Just Like Crap. It was better than that. I do remember that, okay? All I know, I remember that the girls are going to fucking go to fucking Dubai and fucking try to convert them to feminists. Yeah, you know what happens to feminists in Dubai? Okay, they get their fucking heads cut off. That's what fucking happens to them, okay? So pull that bullshit over there. You think those fucking Arab sheiks are gonna allow that bullshit? Fuck no. Anyway, that's the real misogyny, not here, over there. Okay, anyway. That's a different topic. Okay, so thank you very much for watching my reviews on Sex and the City. It's a blast. I love doing these. I'm glad I got the movie done with finally. Only like 14 chapters I had to do here, but I finished the movie in detail. Okay, I got through everything. Okay, didn't left nothing out. Okay, so thank you very much for watching my reviews. I appreciate it. I do read all your comments. Okay, and I will be back very shortly to finish Sex and the City, the movie Part 2. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.